This could be Donovan Mitchell's final year playing in Cleveland. According to a few NBA insiders, they report that Donovan Mitchell still wants to play in New York City. But not only that, folks, the Cleveland Cavaliers had until 11:59 p.m. on Monday night to extend Donovan Mitchell, and they failed to do so. This now opens the door for the New York Knicks or any other team to potentially trade for him. We're going to break down this entire report and get you updated with all the news that you need. All of this and so much more today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and, of course, turn notifications on. And now, let's get started. Donovan Mitchell apparently still wants to play in New York City. Do you see this smile? I can't hide it. I'm a Donovan Mitchell fan. I've wanted Donovan Mitchell on the New York Knicks for a while now. And if the Knicks have the potential to go after Donovan Mitchell, I am absolutely all on board for it. And according to NBA insiders, Howard Beck and Bill Simmons, shout out to those two, they actually stated that Donovan Mitchell, at least a rumor going around the league right now, still wants to play in New York City. And here's the report. Shout out to New York Basketball on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays, because they reported the following. Howard Beck stated the following about Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, last we checked, still wants to play in New York. Still kind of the scuttlebutt. Again, that means gossip or rumor. Clock ticking, important year for Cavs. Bill Simmons then states, important first 3 months. The buzz is, if it doesn't start out great, I'm convinced he's not long for Cleveland. And then Bill Simmons said the following about Donovan Mitchell's situation with Cleveland. He says the worst kept secret in the NBA is Donovan Mitchell eventually leaving Cleveland. This is huge updates here that we have from NBA insiders who are connected all around the league in Howard Beck and, of course, Bill Simmons. So if they're saying it, you gotta believe it, at least to some degree. And of course, it's no secret. We knew that Donovan Mitchell wanted to be in New York. He's always spotted in the offseason in New York City. But to hear these insiders say that Donovan Mitchell still, right now, currently, wants to play in New York City, for me, is a huge report. Because that already opens the door. And a door that's already open, it just opens it up just a little bit more when you hear reports like this. And even Bill Simmons doubled down on this again here, like we talked about before, where he said basically that the worst kept secret in the entire NBA is that Donovan Mitchell wants to leave Cleveland, and likely wants to leave Cleveland for New York. And not that other team in New York, which a lot of fans have been talking to me about. Not that team. The real team. The New York Knicks. That's the team that he likely wants to go to. For a number of reasons, but one main reason is orange and blue. He's a Mets fan, and orange and blue is baked into his blood. So because of that, the New York Knicks are always going to be on top of the list of destinations if and when Donovan Mitchell seeks a trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I do think the only way that happens, the only way that Donovan Mitchell does that, is if Cleveland doesn't show up the way they need to this season. But for me, it's going to be very hard for Cleveland to do that. Because if Donovan Mitchell expects Cleveland to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, which one NBA insider who used to cover Cleveland told me directly, if that's the case, then Donovan Mitchell is absolutely leaving Cleveland. Because they're not going to do that this year. Not with the Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics of the world. You got to figure those two are likely going to be the final teams in the Eastern Conference Finals looking to see who's going to go to the NBA Finals. I think we all know that and we all can see that. So if another team were to jump up there, it would be very hard for me to see that. Whether it be even the New York Knicks or the Cleveland Cavaliers for that matter. Cleveland did get better. A little bit better. But Boston and Milwaukee got a lot better. And I don't think Cleveland has any business even thinking they could get to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the NBA Finals. And I think for Donovan Mitchell to want to stay in Cleveland, they're going to have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if they don't, he's out of there. And for me, like I said before, it puts a very, very big smile on my face because I know Donovan doesn't want to be there. I know he wants to be in New York. NBA insiders, not only these NBA insiders, but NBA insiders all offseason, guys, have basically linked Donovan Mitchell again and again to the New York Knicks, again to New York City, saying he wants to be there. We've known about this since last summer with the RJ Barrett potential trade for Donovan. We always knew this. Donovan Mitchell wants to be a New York Knick. I think a lot of fans want him to be a New York Knick. I personally want him to be a New York Knick, so hopefully we can get that done at some point, but it's all going to hinge on what happens in Cleveland. And honestly, if they're looking to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, then Donovan's going to ask for a trade next offseason because they're not going to get there. And I can't wait for that to happen, and hopefully the Knicks pounce on that, get Donovan Mitchell, get him in orange and blue, and take that next step to be a legit contender in the Eastern Conference. But a lot of fans have been wondering and asking, if Spider not officially re-signing with the Cavs is significant or a big deal. And in my opinion, it absolutely is. We're not talking about this as heavily if Donovan Mitchell signs that extension with Cleveland, right? We're not doing it, but he did it. And for anybody who didn't know, and shout out to Sports Illustrated for reporting the following, the Cleveland Cavaliers didn't come to terms with Donovan Mitchell on a new contract extension. They had until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday night to agree to one, and they did not do so. The deadline came and passed. Nothing was set in stone, guys. And again, because that happens, that opens the door to potentially another team, whether it be the New York Knicks or any other team in the league, to go after Donovan Mitchell via trade. So if Cleveland starts out slow, they spiral out of control, or they don't do what they need to do this year, I absolutely see Donovan Mitchell asking out, and I can see the New York Knicks topping the list of his preferred destinations of teams he wants to go to. And at the end of the day, I think the Knicks actually get him if and when that situation happens. I also wanted to mention and shout out to Sports Illustrated for saying the following as well too, that Donovan Mitchell not signing that extension with the Cavs is actually not surprising because it could have financial implications as well too. And according to Donovan, on Media Day, he actually said that the earliest he would sign an extension with the Cavs would be the summer of 2024. So actually, that gives the Cavs so much pressure because even though he didn't sign the extension, he basically said to the Cavaliers, if you want me to sign the extension, then I'm going to do so next offseason. And if that's going to happen, you best believe you guys better have the best season of your life with me. Because if you don't, I'm gone. And I know I want to already go to New York. I know New York wants me. And I know New York wants to pair me with Jalen Brunson. And I know New York is trying to do something over there with another superstar trade. So maybe I can join something happening over there and be another piece to something great. I'm sure Donovan Mitchell is looking at that. I'm sure people in his camp and his corner have been talking to him about things like that. It's not a secret about all the rumblings going on around the league with Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, and the New York Knicks. Donovan Mitchell's watching that because if he thinks his talents could take the New York Knicks team and whatever roster they have at that time when he joins them to the top, to being a lethal threat in the Eastern Conference, I think Donovan Mitchell wouldn't hesitate to do it, especially if it makes him join a place he wants to join anyways and brings him home, gets him to play in New York, gets him to play with the Knicks, gets him to play with the team that he's always wanted to play with. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you want to see Donovan Mitchell in New York? Do you think the Knicks have a realistic shot to get Donovan? Do you believe these NBA insiders and what they're saying about Donovan Mitchell still wanting to play in New York City right now? Let me know in the comments because honestly, guys, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button. Leave a comment below. But of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, Knicks fans, peace.